Welcome back, everyone. My name is Kevin. It's so good to be here with you this evening. I thought that we would take some time to explore the concept of change when it comes to narcissistic people. Is it possible for a narcissist to change? Many of you believe that it is possible. I believe that it's possible. However, I would caution that the change a narcissistic person goes through is much different than the change that you would go through or the change that I would go through. And this is simply due to the fact that change requires empathy. It's empathy and self-reflection that allows you to make the adjustments that you need to make in this life, the adjustments that we call change. Without that empathy, well, what's the driving force behind a narcissist change? And when they do change, are they really any better off, or is any relationship better off as a result of their change? Well, let's talk about this. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I dive into this message on what it most likely looks like when a narcissistic person is going through change, let me remind you that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box right below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I do take telephone calls and video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. You do not have to go through your healing journey alone. Head on down there, schedule some time with me. Let's talk about your situation and strategize together. Also, The Royal We does have a private membership available for you where you get daily live support Monday through Friday. In addition to daily live support, we have weekly Zoom calls, weekly fellowship, and so much more, all in the privacy of a members-only app. You can download the Royal We membership app down below in the description box. One more announcement, and that's that I invite you to join me Monday through Friday for a live intensive workout. This is the extreme self-care that you've been waiting for. Together, we're going to accomplish what you typically would try to accomplish in 2 hours at the gym. What an absolute waste of time, because the majority of the time you're standing around talking to people, flexing in the mirror, whatever the case. I am going to narrow that into 30 minutes of an intensive workout, and I promise you results. Join me. It's live on YouTube on this channel. It's free. All it costs you is a subscription and hitting the bell notification so you know when I'm going live. It's Monday through Friday, 12:35 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm doing it every day. The best part is I'm working out with you and leading you through some extreme, intense exercises. So if you think you could keep up with me and you're ready to get into shape physically, mentally, and emotionally, then you have no reason not to join me. Do the workout from home. Do it in your backyard. Do it at the beach. Do it at the park. Do it wherever you want to do it, right? Just be there. Follow along with my exercise program. Now, let's get into this topic. Narcissistic people and their change. Obviously, who am I to say that people can't change? Who are you to say that people can't change? Now, somewhere deep down inside, we find it impossible for narcissistic people to change. Now, the reason we find it impossible is because at some point you realize they have no empathy. And you realize that it takes empathy, it requires empathy to make adjustments in this life. Empathy is everything. Empathy is what allows you to receive and to perceive other people's feelings around you. And this is what allows you to make adjustments in your behavior towards others just by watching their expression, by feeling the atmosphere. Do they need you? Are they in a place of vulnerability? Are they upset? Are they angry? This is what allows us to make these micro changes and adjust ourselves as needed. This is a highly empathic trait. Narcissistic people don't have this. They're not able to assess and perceive the feelings of other people, so why in the world would they go through any change? Well, they typically don't. At least not change in the way that they care about what other people are thinking or how other people are perceiving them. All right? Because again, this change requires empathy. So when we talk about change with a narcissistic person, any change that they make is not necessarily because they care about you or because they love you or any of that sorts. Typically, what I've discovered, the driving force behind a narcissistic person changing, again, this is without empathy. The driving force behind their change is having no other options. The driving force of a narcissistic person to change is because they have no choice. They have to change. All right, now let me illustrate this for you by looking at some of the most evil people on the face of the planet, right, that we know about. And let's talk a little bit about change, if there ever was any change. How about we talk about Hitler? All right, let's talk about Hitler. Hitler was killing people, concentration camps, trying to force things and bully his way and create a one race world, or whatever his stupid, dominating, narcissistic, typical narcissistic mindset was. Now, let me ask you, did Hitler ever change? And if he did change, what drove the change? What was the driving force? Well, the eventual driving force of Hitler making any change was that he was surrounded. He was beaten. He was restrained, if you will, by the other armies rising up. Now, this change that took place in Hitler was more of a defeat than anything else. He was defeated into change. And so let's look at what this really looks like. Hitler was defeated into change. It's not okay, I'm changing for the better and I can't wait to love people. It's not like the movie Scrooge, where Scrooge has this dream and suddenly he wakes up and he's loving all over everybody. No. The change that Hitler went through was, I'm defeated. I'm not the conqueror. My stupid mindset of this world and how to govern it and how to rule people and how to dominate it didn't work, and I've been defeated, and he slumps down and he runs and hides somewhere. That's the change that Hitler went through. Now, I want to go back into talking about narcissistic people. What I've seen in my coaching experience when it comes to narcissistic people changing, it's not because people have prayed for them. It's not out of them even caring about your hurt or your pain. Typically, a narcissistic person changes only as a consequence because they have no other options in the situation but to change. What does this look like? It looks like you leaving them. Well, now they have no choice but to change. It looks like if you're married and you go through a divorce, and now by law, they have to submit to certain rules and regulations in order to spend time perhaps with their kids or whatever. This is the change. It's forced change. It's forced restraint. This is what causes narcissists to change. It's by forced restraint. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because you could be fooled by this change. Oh, they're a better person now. Oh, they're actually doing things that are right. They're actually being kind. Well, make no mistake about it. A lot of that has to do with them being forced into making some kind of a change. Otherwise, if you were to accept this changed version of them and lower your guard and lower your boundaries, well, now a narcissistic person can slip right back into their what their natural desire is, which is to control and dominate and crush people. And now their change is no longer being forced. So again, narcissistic people require a forced change, which is more or less just defeated. They need to be outnumbered, somebody bigger in their life who stands as a buffer between you and them. This buffer can be the law, it could be your friends, it could be a new partner, but whatever it is, it's a buffer that stops the narcissistic person from doing what's in their nature, and what's in their nature is to try to control you, to try to dominate you. So if you come across a narcissistic person who's on their best behavior and you believe they've gone through change, the reality is that change is the consequence of them feeling they have no other choice. That's right. They are restrained. They've been restrained. They've been restrained by your no contact. They've been restrained by you telling them to stay away. They've been restrained by you telling them they're not welcome. They've been restrained by you no longer giving them what they want. They've been restrained. This restrains the narcissistic person and their ability to control and dominate. Do you see? This is what causes them to change. Interesting, isn't it? Now that we understand that for a narcissistic person, their change is just nothing more than them being defeated, the question is are they any better? If you trigger change in a narcissistic person, perhaps you threaten to leave, you kick them out, you tell them they're not welcome, whatever the case may be, and so they go through this change and they're being kind to you. If you notice, they're doing it out of more or less a defeated place. It's almost like the narcissistic person has lost their joy in life. They're now this sorrowful slump. I'm defeated. I can't dominate and control people, right? So are you really getting anything better? No, because basically it's like castrating the bull. It's castrating a narcissistic person. When you stand up to them and you block their desire to control, to dominate, to be mean, to be cruel, which, by the way, is by and large a part of the narcissistic nature because they have no empathy. When you force them, by the time you're forcing them into a place of change, it's because you've basically castrated them. So now you're getting this slumped over version of somebody kind of walking on eggshells around you, really losing their ability in life to experience any kind of joy, because their joy and their satisfaction comes from being mean and being cruel. And I know it's sad, but this is the reality of it. And so the reason I'm talking about this is because many of you might be fooled into thinking that a narcissistic person can change and you can accept them back into your life and you'll have a good relationship. No, at best, you're going to have a defeated narcissistic person in your life who's more or less going to be sad. They're going to be down. They're not going to be happy. If their happiness derives from control and dominance, and you've castrated that's been castrated, they have nothing else but to slump over and walk around feeling like they've been defeated in this life. Their plan for global domination has failed them. They might feel they have nothing left. And so you're getting this slumped, defeated version of a narcissistic person. If you ask me, it's not worth it. You don't want either a controlling, dominating, rageful narcissistic person in your life. You also don't want a defeated, slumped over version of a narcissistic person in your life either, because you've imposed so many boundaries. Does this make sense to you? So we have to understand this, that narcissistic people are not capable, because they lack empathy, they're not capable of making the changes and the adjustments needed to sustain a relationship. All they're capable of doing is live according to their nature of control and dominance. Any change that happens is a consequence, if you will, of hard boundaries and defeat. Hard boundaries and defeat. Right? It's like a dog, right? In a wild dog's nature, it's to be aggressive, to growl, to bite. But with hard boundaries and discipline and force, what happens? You can cause the dog to change. What do you get? You get a defeated dog in that situation who submits, right? That's what you get with a narcissistic person, is a defeated dog who submits, who cowers away, who's really not there for you, because again, it takes empathy to engage with you in a healthy way. It takes empathy to sit down and have conversations with you. It takes empathy to engage in a disagreement with you. It takes empathy to experience joy with you, laughter with you. It takes empathy to do all of these things. A changed narcissist still doesn't have empathy. And that's what we're missing here. Even if the narcissist changes, which is nothing more than a defeated dog, right? They still don't have empathy. So now you're going to be engaging with this defeated entity who is now being more submissive because they've been defeated, but they're still not going to be able to engage with you. They're still not going to be able to celebrate your accomplishments. They're not going to be able to be vulnerable with you. They're not going to be able to love you. So you see, my point is that a changed narcissist really doesn't matter. Now, does it? With a narcissistic person, you either get the controlling, dominating, crushing person, or you get the defeated version of that when they feel like they have no other options. There is no person in the middle with empathy to meet you. So for those of you who operate in this life because of empathy, you're best to navigate and learn how to judge other people based on their level of empathy to see if it is in fact a good fit. Now, if you do need help in understanding how to judge and how to measure a person's empathy, that's exactly what I'm here for. Schedule one-on-one time with me. Join the Royal We community down below. Download the app. We talk a lot about this. And I will be back right here on the Royal We. Before I leave, check out one of these videos recommended by the YouTube algorithm. It's recommending these videos for you. Be sure to join me Monday through Friday for an intensive workout at 12:35 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll be back. Bye, everyone.